So I don't want to tell you guys that I was right, but I was definitely right about the whole Dillon Dannis situation. Welcome back to Gloves Up. I'm your host, the Jewish Giant, and of course, the soundboard god, Jacob Cooperman. And maybe it was like 3 or 4 videos ago, I had talked about how I felt that Dillon Dannis just going out and fighting KSI was a blatant botch on the, I'd say it's its own genre of sport now, which is influencer boxing. And since then, he is pulled out of the fight. I had a video pulled up earlier where someone that's tangentially connected to him had just kind of cited off reasons of Dillon not being ready, not being on weight, struggling with that, not having a coach. And it kind of confirmed all of our suspicions that he really wasn't taking this really seriously, which is tough because it's a huge slap in the face to guys like KSI, guys like Jake Paul. I mean, say what you want, right, about those two, or just the influencer boxing scene in general. I think it's clear that these guys really, really take it seriously, either on the business end or when it comes down to fighting, right? These guys diet hard. These guys want to learn the sport, are clear fans of the sport, always have been. I remember KSI did a video way back with McGregor. So it is very, very discouraging, and I just wanted to also talk about the look that I think this would give the sport as a whole when you have a guy in Dillon Dannis. And I think I said this the last time we talked about it. He's well known in the community for being a troll. A guy like him doesn't show up to the press conference and then straight up just pulls out of the fight. It really gives this optic, and I don't have to tell you guys this, it really gives an optic of disorganization and an amateur look on DAZN boxing and misfits especially. You know, and I get that you're going to probably run into this too when you're first starting out, because I think it's their, I don't know how many events they've had, but it's a very, very new thing, this sector of DAZN boxing. So you're going to run into this stuff here and there. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think this could be a good thing, though. It definitely teaches DAZN what not to do in future situations, right? Maybe don't have an unknown guy who you put more emphasis on the social media presence of than the actual fighting ability come in and fight your main guy. There should be, I don't know if they have rankings yet. I don't assume that they do. They should get some rankings going. They should have compelling fights lined up, which I know they do, but with guys that actually make sense, like Salt Poppy versus someone else that's already boxing. You're going to find a little bit of difficulty because you do have to bring in more talent, but this has been a major league learning experience for DAZN boxing, man. Wow. Yeah. Not a fun look, especially because the last time KSI fought, there were a bunch of pullouts as well. Even if you want to broaden the lens to the influencer boxing scene in general, not just DAZN boxing or Misfits boxing. I mean, Jake Paul and the whole Tommy Fury thing. Jake Paul has had a lot of trouble putting fights together. When he fights, it's entertaining, but this is a general problem that has plagued influencer boxing, and shame on Dillon Dannis and shame on the guys who enter into negotiations like Tommy Fury or Hasim Rahman Jr., especially a guy in Hasim Rahman Jr. That has been a pro before, that don't really give this the reverence and the respect that it deserves, right? It's one thing to say, oh, I'm cashing in, I'm taking this easy money fight, which is exactly what Dillon Dannis said, but it's another thing to understand that there is a reason why it's such a big money fight, and to take it seriously, come on someone else's platform and treat it with respect. And luckily, this is going to rub off poorly on probably Dillon Dannis more so than it is on KSI and Misfits, but not a good string of looks for these guys so far. I'm assuming they have a backup. KSI always has a backup or a plan B, so we'll probably still see him boxing. Listen, this space is young, it's fresh, I like where it's headed. They need to weed out the guys that are charlatans, that are there just for the money or the exposure that it will bring in them. And that's a tough thing. It's a tough thing when you dip into the influencer world, because the influencer world is full of people like that. Everyone that's an influencer loves the sound of their own voice, I guarantee, loves the attention. So it's going to be a tricky thing. And if they love the attention, this is the vibe I get from Slim, the guy that is a fantastic knockout artist. I saw his fight against FaZe, I think it was Jarvis or FaZe something. That guy likes to bring up a fight, likes to bring attention to himself. Everyone thought he was crazy in the lead up, and then he went out there and he backed his talk up. So either you find guys that are really good at boxing and aren't just going to try to cash in and never fight again in the organization, or you find guys that do love the attention, but then could go out and make compelling fights. That's been my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Maybe I'll do a video talking about the whole Logan Paul situation, his apology. A lot of people covered it really well already, so I don't know. I don't feel too compelled to talk about that, but let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.